Hey, you guys, it's Miss Cashflow Properties. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Picture this. You found your dream investment property, and now you need to secure what? Finance. You need to lock down some money and put together a plan on how you're going to acquire it. Today, I want to talk with you about the different ways that you can secure traditional financing. Yes, we're going to talk about the mortgage rates. And what's up with that? The government has went back and forth so many times. It feels like so many, but they went back and forth quite a few times over the past couple of years, and it has made the market be in a frenzy. Buyers have completely frozen. You've never heard of a Fed mortgage rate hike and how that correlates to your mortgage rates, okay?
Miss Lola is a great teacher and she's a great real estate agent, so I'm looking forward to moving forward with her, planning my future and taking it to the next level.
So rates, we know as of 2022, rates went to a record high that we've seen in this decade, all right? Because by this decade, I mean, hey, if you purchased a home 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you've seen 9, 10% mortgage rates. But if you haven't and you're, 40 and under and just getting into that home buying age, you've never seen a rate over 5%. 4% and 3% interest rates were really popular. So I want to talk to you about how you can leverage not just a fixed rate mortgage, but also an adjustable rate mortgage. And growing up, and when I say growing up, I mean entering that home buying age era and generation, the past decade or so, a fixed rate mortgage was the best. You could lock in a rate at 3.5% or 3.75%, and that will be a great rate to have a 30-year mortgage. Now, with mortgage rates being, 6% and over, we're looking at some different options, all right? If you got a 7.75% interest rate, that's going to make what the overall monthly payment higher. Why? Because they're charging you more for the debt to borrow the rest of the money to purchase your home. Now, adjustable rate mortgages give you something called flexibility. Now, hear me out. An adjustable rate mortgage will give you a low introductory rate for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. They're called ARMs, right? Adjustable rate mortgage. If it's a 3-year ARM or 5-year ARM, what I'm describing is that for those first set of years, the rate will not change, all right? It's going to be a fixed rate for a duration. And then it'll have 1 year where the rate will change and will increase for 1 year. And then for the next set duration, whether you're on a 5-year or 7-year ARM, it will go back to being fixed for that duration. Now, what does that mean to you? It means that you can buy today, all right, with an ARM mortgage. And at the end of that term, you can refinance out into a fixed rate mortgage. Now, that allows you to buy property at the value today. And in 3 years, 5, 7, be able to capitalize on the appreciation of that property and also capitalize on the equity that property will have. Now, if you waited, option B, if you waited to watch the market, see if the market rates will go down, what you are then losing leverage in is gaining appreciation and also equity. Because depending on where you are, what area you in, property values will what? Increase. They'll appreciate, especially income producing real estate, where you're collecting rents and cash flowing. So not only will you miss out on leveraging the appreciation and equity, but you're also going to lose out on being able to cash flow for that 3-year, 5-year, or 7-year term. So being able to leverage and take advantage of government programs, getting into an ARM mortgage, and then refinancing at a later time when and if mortgage rates are more friendly to you and hit the target of where you want to be locked in for a 30-year mortgage, companies have now also come out with 40-year mortgages just to lighten the blow of having that higher interest rate, but spreading it out over a longer period of time to allow the monthly payment to be lower. So if you were buying a home to just be your primary home and not cash flowing off of it, not having to be income producing, you will probably have that traditional mindset and go in with, the monthly payment at the top of mind or your mortgage rate at the top of mind. However, because you are cash flowing, you are going to benefit like an investor. Therefore, it is in your best interest to be able to cash flow. You can't go backwards in time, but what you can do is continue to have a profit over the time to be able to seek a return on it, all right? Now I want to walk you through how to best qualify for your traditional mortgage, all right? Banks will look at your debt to income ratio. Your debt to income ratio. Yes, they will evaluate and consider the rental income and take that and add that to your income. They will also look at your debt to income ratio. And if you're in an FHA loan, it's a 55, almost 56%. They want your debt to income ratio to be. And if it's a conventional loan, it's lower. It's at 50%. You have to be under 50% for conventional, under 56 for FHA. Now, let me make it a little simple. All right. If you make $10,000 a month, they want your monthly your monthly debt to be $5,600 or less. That will include the mortgage payment if it's an FHA. If you make $10,000 gross, I'm not saying you'll take away, come home. All right, that's your net. I'm saying before taxes, your gross income. If it's a conventional loan, they want your debt, including what the monthly mortgage payments will be, to be 50% or less. So let's talk about 3 expenses or debt that I've come across and seen on people's credit that normally harms them. All right. The first being student loan debt. Now, a lot of us were tricked into acquiring student loan debt. I have over $40,000 in student loan debt that's been deferred for a long time through this pandemic, right? But those payments are going to resume. Now, what the government has said is that it will take 0.5% of your student loan debt. So if your student loan debt reports 0, it's deferred payments, right? It reports 0 monthly payments. What the bank will still do, they're going to look, this is a 30-year agreement. They're going to say, once it's no longer deferred, well, how much would the payment be? What they will do is take 0.5% of what the total student loan debt is. It used to be 1%. So if I have $40,000 in student loan debt, they would say, hey, that's a monthly payment, 1% of $400. Now they're saying they're going to deduct it, just reduce it to $200 a month in a payment, which was great. It allowed borrowers with student loan debt to be able to afford more house. All right. And that is specifically key now, especially given interest rates are higher than what they have been the past decade or so before. So with that, your student loan debt, we want to make sure if you have student loan debt and it's deferred, that's okay, but you're still going to get a payment assigned to that student loan debt. The next thing that I've seen, and this is what you can control, card notes. All right. Do not, I get asked this question and I'm going to say it again. Do not say it to who I've said it to. And if you're brand new, do not purchase a car before purchasing a home. If you already have a vehicle and you're contemplating house or car, guess what I want you to do? Go with the house. Wait on the car. The monthly payment on average for car notes are between $400 and $500 a month. That takes away and actually reduces your home buying power. Okay? You're purchasing a car note for 5 to 6 years, $30,000 or $20,000, and you're doing so, in a short time period. So you're ending up with a car payment of $400 or $500. Wait on the car. Wait until you purchase your home. Keep the same car you got now. Just wait. Get it another oil change. Put some new tires on it. But as soon as you go through your process of becoming that first-time landlord, that first-time investor, then you can circle back and get the car, because that will significantly impact and lower your home buying ability, and you may just price yourself completely out of being able to buy and invest in a great location where you could have cash flowed heavily. So Cars, put them on park. We're not buying new, okay? And if you need to get out one, there are creative ways that you can get out of our car note. So, third I want to talk about is medical bills. Now, laws changed where medical bills, a traditional mortgage bank, should not hold against your debt to income ratio, old medical bills. Now, if you've been in the hospital, ever went to the ER, and these old medical bills just pop up out of nowhere, maybe the insurance didn't cover it, but they should have, this is no longer counted against you in your debt to income ratio. Again, a huge relief, because a lot of people have medical bills that just appear out of nowhere, where, they have instances, like I said, where the insurance should have paid. The fourth thing I'm going to talk about, you guys, is bad debt that you owe to banks. Now, there's a difference between owing a communications company, say like Verizon, for a phone that maybe you were supposed to turn in and you didn't, versus owing a credit card company that maybe you had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and that still shows up. Now, I know people think, I got my credit repaired, I can't see that I owe, Credit One, Capital One, whatever bank that you've ever owed, right? Or card that financial institution that you actually had credit from before. Maybe you got it removed from your credit. What happens is that the mortgage officers, they see a different mortgage score than you see as a consumer. I'll say that again. They see mortgage companies have a mortgage score and a mortgage report. And on that report, items that have been removed from your consumer view can and still will be viewable from their view. Now, this applies to student loans. If you got that removed, guess what? They're going to check the system. And once they check the system, it's going to come up if you owe Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam has one system. So if you got the government student loan from them, if you owe an old mortgage, it's all going to, if Uncle Sam ever loaned you money, no matter in which area, it's going to show up to that mortgage officer, even if you can't see it on your credit report anymore. So you guys, make sure that you don't owe any financial institutions and you don't owe the bank, because these may not be viewable to you, but they will be viewable to the mortgage loan officer. And the last thing I want to talk about are inquiries. All right. Inquiries hurt you. So if you know your goal is investing in real estate and getting you a multifamily or cash flow property, then don't apply for anything else. Through your process, don't allow anyone, and I mean no one, to pull your credit. You will have to explain and answer to the loan officer, why did you apply for this? Do you have this debt? Is this debt just not showing? I need a letter from you explaining why you applied. And the worst thing you want to be hit with at the end of during your process that will come up, honestly, in the last 2 to 3 days of closing on your home, the loan officer will request explanations from you. They are going to pull your credit 24 hours within you closing. They want to see from the time you did the application up until your closing, have you applied for any new debt? Because if you acquired new debt, you could be knocked out of buying your investment property completely if you acquire new debt and you no longer qualify because you're above the debt to income limit ratio. All right. Listen, you guys, I hope that you were able to take away something helpful, learning more about what you should have on the top of mind for when acquiring financing for your real estate investment properties. Listen, I've enjoyed my time with you. I hope that you took some notes. Click, like, subscribe. Before you go, give me some feedback. Drop a comment. Tell me, are you enjoying these conversations? Would you like to hear more? I'm Miss Cash Flow Properties, you guys, and I'll see you next time.